say that the Republicans had an unorganized, raucous convention. And what we're hearing is it was a total surprise that the Holland area businessman Bill Cooper, you know him, he finished fourth in that congressional primary race in West Michigan, challenged Brian Calley's selection as lieutenant governor. Rick Albin is the veteran political reporter and political insider for WOOD TV8 in Grand Rapids. He's on the other end of our line. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
What happened there? Bill Cooper decided he wanted to make himself the running mate?
Well, I don't think he really ever believed that he would be the running mate, but I think that there were a group of people at the Republican Party who had gotten there through the normal elected process of being delegates who wanted their voice heard. One of them told me after the convention, and we were in the parking lot, and I said, he came up and he said, well, what'd you think of that? And I said, well, from a reporter standpoint, it's interesting to have something happen that's a little bit off script. And I said, but what was your point in doing it? He said, well, what's the point in having a convention if you don't have something to vote for? And so I think it was unexpected, but I think that, frankly, I thought they handled it pretty well, and it did add a little bit of another element to that convention on Saturday, and I think it got some folks engaged. And I will tell you that they weren't all engaged all day, so it was probably, something that kind of got everybody's attention.
I would say so, and they didn't have any ballots ready for something like that, so they turned into a series of catcalls until Cooper finally relented and decided to ask all his people to go ahead and support Calley. Is that how it unfolded?
I think that's a fair enough characterization, but it all happened pretty quickly because they had several problems, and some of them I think were organic, and I think some of them were probably maybe made a little bit out of some of this unexpected thing that went on. For one thing, I think they had some trouble getting the delegates into the Breslin Center and getting them all their credentials in a timely manner. They also had the problem of trying to get things started on time. As it was, it ended up going well past 6 o'clock. I think it was originally scheduled to go past 3, maybe just about 3 o'clock. And so they did have some problems with that. They weren't exactly sure how to go about the balloting. They probably did have the mechanism in place to do an electronic ballot because later in the day they did, on the second round for Secretary of State, they did a ballot that wasn't printed. They just went A and B and designated A and B as two different people. But as it turned out, I think they got through it with a minimum amount of angst. And as I say, these conventions are normally pretty predictable, and in this case, there was a little bit of anguish on the part of some folks in the audience, and they made themselves known.
Is Terry Lynn Land going to be the next Republican Party chair?
I don't know. I would think of some other names that I know of that might also be quite interested in that. And I really can't tell you because I think that the Republican Party has enough different factions in it right now that I don't think anything is a for sure deal. And I think that we kind of saw that at the convention on Saturday where certain people that you might consider to be on slates were given the nomination and others weren't. So I don't know. I don't know.
Who are the other names that you're hearing about for Republican Party chair?
Well, I tell you, I don't know that I'm necessarily hearing. I think there's some other names that I might think of people that would be out there. But I tell you, on Saturday, nobody was talking about this. They were talking about the convention, what was going on there that day. So I wouldn't want to speculate and throw names out that maybe really aren't in there. But just kind of generically, I would think there would be a number of people that would be interested.
Okay, we'll be in touch again soon. Thanks for taking the call so early this morning. Sure appreciate it.
You bet.
Rick Albin, WOOD TV8.